My beloved child, open your heart at this moment, for an important reminder is reaching toward you. Yet you do not need to hide, become frightened, or believe that some secret power is searching for you. I, Michael, have come to lead you back to clarity, not into speculation that disturbs your mind. Perhaps in recent days you have sensed that something is changing, as though life is quietly bringing you closer to a new threshold. You cannot yet see its full shape, and you do not know who may appear or what opportunity may open. But within you there is already a stirring telling you to prepare. Listen to that stirring with peace. You do not need to act hastily merely because a message speaks with an authoritative tone. Nor do you need to keep secrets from trustworthy people. What is true does not fear being brought into the light, and guidance from heaven will never isolate you from wisdom, love, and healthy support. I know you have longed for an influential person to recognize your abilities, for a great door to open unexpectedly, or for an opportunity powerful enough to change the entire direction of what lies ahead. That desire is not wrong, but do not allow it to persuade you that your worth is validated only when someone powerful calls your name. Before anyone else saw you, I saw every good seed placed within you. I know the things you quietly accomplished, the times you remained kind without receiving recognition, the nights you persevered after disappointment, and the moments when you lifted yourself back to your feet without hearing any applause. None of these things disappeared merely because the world had not yet noticed. Quiet preparation often lasts much longer than the moment of recognition, because you need a strong foundation to hold what is coming without losing your humility. Peace, or goodness. A genuine shift may already have begun in your life, but it does not necessarily involve secret rooms or a network of people watching your every step. The change may simply be that your abilities have matured beyond the place where you currently stand, that someone has heard about the work you do, or that an opportunity is developing through very ordinary connections. Be cautious of claims that someone is secretly photographing you, recording your words, or tracking your location. If you have real evidence that you are being monitored, share it with someone trustworthy and seek appropriate support. But if it is only a vague story designed to make you afraid, do not give it power. I do not lead you through paranoia. I help you stand firmly in truth. Verify what you hear, and protect your peace from stories created to manipulate your attention. What is being confirmed within you is not a secret file, but the character that has been refined through many seasons of testing. You have learned to see people beyond their words, to recognize opportunities beyond their outward glamour, and to understand that power does not always mean integrity. If an influential person genuinely wishes to meet you, they will approach you through a clear, respectful, and verifiable method. They will not demand absolute secrecy, ask you to send money, request sensitive information, or pressure you to act immediately because you might lose the opportunity. Remember my words. What is good and truly meant for you does not need to create a fog of mystery that weakens your judgment. A genuine opportunity can withstand wise questions. A trustworthy person will not become angry when you need time to verify information. The right door will never require you to betray your safety, your values, or your healthy relationships. Your mission is not a mysterious title bestowed upon you by someone else. It is revealed through the way you live each day. It is present when you use your words to encourage rather than wound. when you fulfill your responsibilities even when no one is watching, and when you refuse to take dishonest shortcuts despite the promise of quick gain. I do not want you to chase the feeling that you are so special that you must remain separated from everyone else. I want you to understand that you are precious while still remaining humble enough to learn, cooperate, and serve. Those who truly carry a great calling do not need to prove continually that they were chosen. They allow their honesty, discipline, kindness, and the results of their work to speak. Therefore, instead of trying to decode vague prophecies, look at what is already in your hands today and carry it out with wholehearted devotion. Some people spend many years searching for the right person to fill an important position, project, or responsibility. Perhaps one day your story will naturally meet such a need. But you do not need to believe that a hidden code has waited 19 years to match your name. What you need to do is prepare yourself so that when a genuine opportunity appears, you have enough ability to recognize it and enough maturity to receive it. Develop the skills you still lack. Bring order to your work. Keep your records clear. Improve the way you communicate. And do not allow temporary emotions to destroy what you have spent years building. These steps may appear ordinary, but they form the foundation for great doors. Heaven is not only preparing an opportunity for you, I am also preparing you to become someone who can walk through that door without losing direction. Do not fear that hesitation will cause invisible timelines to collapse. Sometimes pausing to think is an expression of wisdom. I only want you to avoid the kind of delay that grows from shame, from believing you are not good enough, or from the habit of destroying opportunities before they have time to develop. When a clear and safe invitation appears, do not automatically make yourself small. Ask questions. Verify the information. Seek the counsel of trustworthy people, and then decide calmly. Do not allow fear to make you run away, but do not allow excitement to carry you into a place that has not been carefully examined. Courage does not mean closing your eyes and rushing forward. Courage means keeping your heart open while your eyes remain awake, knowing how to hope without abandoning discernment. If nothing makes sense at the moment, you do not need to force yourself to believe a story merely because it has been given a spiritual appearance. You have the right to say that you do not yet know. You have the right to wait for more evidence. You have the right to refuse invitations that make you uneasy. I do not regard this as disrespect. I see it as evidence that you are maturing. True light does not fear honest questions. It does not demand your silence. Use fear to control you, or make you dependent upon someone who claims to hold your destiny. Your direction does not rest in the hands of a stranger, a secret group, or any powerful person. You are still responsible for your choices, and I will help you choose with clarity instead of being swept away by promises that are too great to be trusted without examination. Today, prepare as though a good opportunity may come, but live as someone whose worth has already been affirmed. Do not try to impress others through an image that is not genuine. Do not exaggerate your story merely to attract attention. Let sincerity become your signature. The right person will recognize it. The right door will not require you to become someone else. When you enter a new room, what will keep you there is not your first dazzling impression, but your character, honesty, and ability to bring something good to others. I want you to be prepared not only to be seen, but also to carry responsibility for what you receive. The greater the influence, the more it requires a steady heart, careful speech, and hands willing to serve. Therefore, my beloved child, receive this message as an invitation to become more aware, not as an order meant to frighten you. Perhaps an important person will approach you, or perhaps the change before you will begin with a very ordinary encounter. Whatever happens, remain grounded in truth. Verify every invitation. Protect your personal information. Speak with someone trustworthy when necessary. And do not enter any agreement merely because you are being pressured. I stand beside you not to feed fantasies of surveillance or secret power, but to break fear, insecurity, and the lies that make you forget who you are. You are no longer hidden from your own potential. You are being called into the light through preparation, maturity, and peace. When the right time comes, you will not need a mysterious code to recognize it. Clarity, respect, and order will confirm that you are standing before a door worth entering. Recently, someone has been intentionally touching the most sensitive places within you, not because they do not understand, but because they know exactly what can cause you to lose your peace. They bring up old matters, ask provocative questions, and use seemingly harmless words to pull you back into emotions that took you a long time to overcome. They are not truly seeking understanding. What they are waiting for is a reaction strong enough to draw you away from the clarity you have only recently begun to build. But today, I stand between you and that chaos and declare that it must stop. This is not because you are too weak to face it, but because you are in an important season where every small choice contributes to the person you are becoming. A young plant that has only just broken through the soil is not without life, but it still needs protection from careless footsteps and violent winds. You are the same. What is forming within you is stronger than you realize, but it still needs to be guarded until its roots grow deep enough. I did not bring you to this message merely to soothe a moment of weakness and then allow you to return to the old cycle. I have come to protect what you paid for through tears, patience, and many occasions when you had to raise yourself back to your feet. You have traveled much farther than you usually acknowledge. There were reactions you once could not control, but now you know how to pause. There were words that once caused you to respond immediately, but now you are able to breathe slowly and ask whether the conversation is truly worthy of your peace. These changes did not appear overnight. They were formed through countless moments when you chose not what was easiest, but what was right. Therefore, I will not allow one moment of anger to destroy the fruit of many months in which you learn to govern yourself. You need to understand that sometimes one sentence spoken while emotions are rising can reopen a door you once prayed for me to close. This is not because your words possess the power to destroy every good thing, but because they can pull you back into a relationship that has already lost the right to enter your life. Some people are only waiting for you to speak so that they have a reason to continue the argument. Some create misunderstanding so that you will return to explain yourself. And through that explanation, they find another entrance into the place where you have just established boundaries. You may think you are merely clarifying the truth, but someone who does not wish to understand may use your sincerity to sustain a conversation that never ends. Therefore, your silence in this season is not evidence that you have no answer. It is proof that you no longer give your energy to those who have already chosen to misunderstand you. I am not asking you to remain silent forever. nor do I want you to endure injustice, in fear. A time will come when you need to speak. But when that moment arrives, your words will not rise from anger or a desire to hurt someone in return. You will speak calmly, clearly, and firmly. You will not need to shout in order to be heard. Recount your entire past to prove that you are right, or diminish anyone in order to defend your dignity. One statement born from peace carries a weight that hundreds of angry words cannot possess. Therefore, if I am holding your lips closed in this season, it is because I am teaching you to distinguish between the time to express yourself and the time to walk away. Not every insult deserves an answer. Not every accusation requires you to defend yourself. Some things will be revealed by time more clearly than by any argument. This is also why your mind has recently felt overwhelmed, even though nothing very dramatic appears to be happening outwardly. Your patience has been tested through small things. Old memories have returned unexpectedly, and ordinary words have touched the very places where you once suffered. You may wonder why these things are appearing just when you had begun to feel better. But, my beloved child, when you step out of an old season, the habits and relationships belonging to that season often try to pull you back. This is not because they are stronger than you, but because their influence over you is weakening. When chaos can no longer cause you to collapse, it will try to provoke a reaction. When it cannot stop you from moving forward, it will try to make you turn around simply to explain yourself to people who never intended to walk with you. Name the changes taking place for what they truly are. You no longer want to keep explaining your motives. You no longer feel the need to prove that you are a good person to those who have already chosen to see you through prejudice. You are no longer interested in conversations that continually repeat the same problem without any willingness to change. Places that once felt familiar now leave you tired. Meetings you once endured for hours now make you want to leave much sooner. Jokes you once ignored now reveal the disrespect hidden beneath them. You wonder whether you have become difficult, cold, or overly sensitive. But I tell you that nothing is wrong with you. You simply no longer fit within things that require you to make yourself smaller in order to be accepted. Growth often creates a natural distance between you and environments where you once belonged. This does not mean you are better than anyone, but that what you need has changed. Someone learning to live in peace cannot remain comfortable forever among endless arguments. Someone learning self-respect cannot continue laughing away words that cause harm. Someone walking into clarity will no longer be easily guided by vague messages and apologies that are not followed by change. You have not become arrogant. You are only recognizing that kindness does not mean allowing others to do whatever they wish and still retain access to you as though nothing happened. I am raising you into a new emotional position, where you once reacted immediately. You now know how to step back and observe. Where you once tried desperately to protect your image, you are beginning to distinguish between those who genuinely want to understand and those who merely want to win. Where you once explained yourself until you were exhausted, you now recognize that someone who loves you will ask questions respectfully, while someone who wants to control you will continually force you to prove yourself. This change may make those who were familiar with your old self uncomfortable. They may say that you have changed, that you are no longer as close as you once were, or that you believe you are always right. But sometimes the words "you have changed" simply mean that you are no longer as easy to manipulate through the old methods. Do not immediately feel guilty because you do not respond at once. You are not obligated to open the door every time someone knocks. You do not need to enter an argument merely because someone else has already prepared their words to provoke you. You have the right to take time to think, pray, and examine whether your words will bring clarity or merely add fuel to the fire. Slowing down is not cowardice. It is evidence that you no longer allow the emotions of others to control your inner rhythm. When you can remain calm before something that once made you explode, you are not losing your power, you are reclaiming your authority. Yet I also want you to be careful not to turn boundaries into walls that prevent all love from entering. Discernment does not teach you to distrust everyone. It helps you see more clearly. Some people may unintentionally touch your pain and be willing to listen when you explain how you feel. Others know what hurts you and deliberately repeat it in order to obtain the reaction they desire. The difference can be seen in their attitude after they learn the truth. Someone who loves you will adjust. Someone who only wants control will deny, mock, or blame you for feeling hurt. You do not need to condemn them, but you do need to examine the results rather than merely listening to promises. Remember that protecting your healing process is not selfish. You cannot continue healing in a place that repeatedly creates the same wound. Nor can you build a peaceful life while continually handing the keys to those who appear only to create disturbance. Some relationships require distance so that you can see clearly. Some conversations need to end. Not because you hate the other person, but because continuing them will only draw both of you back into unhealthy patterns. You can love without returning. You can forgive without restoring privileges that were abused. You can desire good for another person without allowing them to keep draining you. Therefore, when someone continues to test your peace, do not rush into the battle they have already prepared. Pause and ask what truly needs to be protected, your reputation in their eyes, or the growth I am building within you. You cannot control the story others tell about you, but you can decide that you will not live according to that story. Let the way you walk answer the accusations. Let your consistency speak in place of endless explanations. What is true does not need to chase every person and beg to be believed. My beloved child, this is not a season in which you are withdrawing from life. It is a season in which you are learning to choose what deserves your time, your voice, and your presence. Wisdom is gradually establishing its place within you. It causes you to speak more slowly, to remain more alert before trusting, and to stand more firmly when leaving something that no longer belongs in your life. Do not resist this change merely because it makes you different from who you once were. The old version of you carried you through part of the journey, but the new version will know how to move forward without allowing every careless hand to drag you back. I am protecting you not because you are weak, but because what is growing within you is too precious to remain surrounded by meaningless provocation. Remain calm, observe, and trust the clarity I am placing within your heart. You are not running from chaos. You simply no longer call chaos the place where you belong. My beloved child, as you gradually awaken, do not turn away from the deep movement that has just begun within you, because what I desire to give you today is the answer that has quietly followed you through every season of waiting. The moment you chose to stop and listen, a new stillness opened before you, helping you recognize that the days behind you were not meaningless, as you once believed. Perhaps you cannot yet see a visible change, but in the deepest place within you, you have felt a gentle warmth and a quiet stirring telling you that the time has come to stop living as someone forgotten. This is not a call that should make you panic or hurry. It is a gentle reminder that you are entering a season in which you need to look upon your entire journey with new eyes. I know you once believed that God was disappointed in you because of the times you were weak, slow, or unable to fulfill everything you had promised. You looked at closed doors and assumed they were proof that you had not been accepted. You looked at long periods of silence and wondered whether your prayers had disappeared into emptiness. But my child, heaven's silence has never meant that you were abandoned. There are times when an answer does not appear because you are being protected from a result that would arrive too soon. There are things not yet placed in your hands because the foundation beneath your feet still needs to be strengthened. There are also dreams that must pass through a dark season so that you can learn to distinguish between what you are truly called to pursue and what you chase only because you are trying to prove your worth. If you could see how your name is preserved in love, you would stop believing that the years of waiting were an empty and meaningless space. I see your journey as a scroll being opened one part at a time, rather than all at once, because every page requires you to become mature enough to read it without being carried away by pride, fear, or haste. Some pages speak of loss, others record restoration, and some remain sealed because you have not yet reached the proper time. But what has not yet been opened has not been erased. What has not yet taken shape does not mean it does not exist. I want you to learn to honor the process, because what is lasting is rarely built through haste. The warmth you are feeling is not a promise that everything will change in a single moment. It is evidence that courage is beginning to return. For a long time, you merely tried to survive one day after another, completing what was necessary and then withdrawing into silence. You became accustomed to expecting very little so that you would not be disappointed. You reduced the size of your desires, hid your hopes, and told yourself that simply enduring was enough. But I did not call you merely to survive the passing years. I want you to live with purpose, know where you are going, and understand that every experience you have endured can become wisdom through which you support others. Your quiet prayers do not need to become loud declarations before they can be heard. There were nights when all you could do was lie still and allow your tears to fall. But even that silence carried a prayer. There were mornings when you had no strength to say anything beautiful and could only rise and continue. Yet your refusal to give up was itself a powerful declaration that hope still remained within you. I do not measure your faith by volume, nor do I judge sincerity through perfect words. I look at every time you chose what was right without receiving praise. Every moment when you restrained a bitter response, and every occasion when you left a place that was stealing your peace. You once felt confused by delays, but now I want you to see them as roads of preparation. The closed door that caused you sadness may have prevented you from entering a place that was unsafe. The person who left and wounded you may no longer have been able to accompany you into the new season. The plan that collapsed and made you feel like a failure may have been dismantled because its foundation was not suitable for the person you are becoming. I am not saying that every pain is easy to accept, but I want you to know that what once made you cry can still be transformed into understanding, compassion, and discernment. The road ahead is now being cleared, but not through a miracle that allows you to avoid all responsibility. Sometimes clearing the path begins with arranging what you have postponed, completing an unfinished conversation, or establishing boundaries with someone who continually violates your peace. At times, you must surrender a habit that once helped you escape, but is now quietly weakening your inner strength. Sometimes you need to admit that you cannot heal everyone and that you are not responsible for carrying the consequences of their choices. I open the path, but you must still walk. I shine the light, but you must still choose the direction. If you want to affirm that a season of renewal has begun, you do not need to prove it through a comment or a secret code. Confirm it through living differently. Say, I am ready to enter what is new, and then courageously leave what is old and still holding you back. Say, I trust God's preparation. And then stop blaming yourself for the things that did not happen according to your plans. Say, my time is coming. But do not use those words as an excuse to remain seated in fantasy. Use them as motivation to train, learn, and bring order to the areas of your life that remain unprepared. True acceleration does not always mean that everything happens quickly. Sometimes it is the moment when you receive in an instant the clarity that once would have taken years to understand. You suddenly recognize why a relationship could not continue, why an environment always made you feel smaller, and why a dream that once appeared so attractive no longer fits who you are becoming. When understanding arrives, you no longer need to keep circling the same lesson. This is also a form of acceleration. When you stop repeating what kept you trapped, stop returning to places from which I already led you, and stop waiting for recognition from people who do not know how to see your true worth. I, Michael, want you to remain calm before the movement now taking place. Do not allow excitement to make you reckless, and do not allow fear to make you overlook the small steps that need to be taken. What has been arranged for you will not require you to surrender your judgment. It will not force you to sacrifice your dignity, live in chaos, or turn away from good principles. What is right may challenge you, but it will help you grow. What is suitable may lead you beyond your comfort zone, but it will not require you to betray yourself. Perhaps you still see no outward difference. Your work remains the same. Your concerns are still present, and some questions remain unanswered. But do not underestimate a change that begins within. When the way you see yourself changes, the choices you make will also change. When you no longer believe that you must accept mistreatment in order to be loved, the relationships you permit to enter your life will change. When you stop believing that you are worthless, you will no longer bend down to gather fragments of attention and call them love. A new future is often formed through decisions that no one else can see. Therefore, open your heart, but do not abandon discernment. Hope, but do not allow dazzling promises to control you. Believe that something good is being formed, while diligently preparing to receive it through a life of order. I do not want you to become so captivated by the idea of the future that you neglect today. The way you use the present moment will create the bridge leading into your next season. A new life does not begin on the day when every circumstance becomes perfect. It begins at the moment when you decide that you will no longer live according to old beliefs.